In this video, I'm going to be discussing my theory that F66X is the Mother Angel, who appeared in the original Drakengard, and that the flowers within her story are connected to the flower that appeared in the third game. The story of F66X begins in a timeline seemingly separate from the world of NieR. In this world, a group of scientists perform experiments hoping to grow flowers. The scientists are attempting to restore nature to the Earth, which became barren thousands of years ago due to pollution and climate change. A female researcher at this facility attempts to revive a certain flower, which according to old stories could grant wishes. While not stated, this seems to be a lunatia. While trying to keep the flower alive, the researcher makes a wish under her breath for nature to return to the world, and mysteriously the flower seems to suddenly start growing larger and larger. The flower begins to move, eating nearby humans and using their remains to grow new flowers, which quickly overrun the facility and escape to the outside world. While the female researcher survived, her husband and everyone else working at the facility were consumed by the flowers. As the sole survivor, the researcher is tasked by the government to create a way to kill the flowers for good. Exhausting every option she can, she comes up with a plan to create cloned soldiers from the combined DNA of humans and the flowers, the very first of which are clones of her husband and herself. She orders the clones to end her life and to take up the fight against the flowers, setting into motion an endless war between clones and flowers, fighting for control of a world where the true humans are long extinct. In Drakengard 3, the flower, also known as the Black Flower, is an entity threatening to bring about the end of the world, suggested to be some kind of weapon that came from the same place as the dragons in Cathedral City. While the design of the Black Flower and the flowers from Reincarnation are slightly different, they share a large number of similarities that are worth examining. Both display some degree of sentience, and they both feed on the blood of humans. They are also both capable of fusing with humans. And like how the intoners created by the Black Flower can spread red eye disease, the human flower clones display red eyes when under the control of their commanders. Also of note is that in the 063Y Dark Memory story, we are shown a project named Operation Black Lily, in other words, Operation Black Flower. During the war, a group of clones form a cult worshipping the flowers, willingly fusing with newly grown flowers in order to reach a new world. An F66X clone becomes one of the 5 priests leading this cult, the number of 5 possibly being an allusion to the 5 intoners. While there's no confirmation that the two flowers are one and the same, the number of similarities is clearly intentional. Perhaps in one of the branches where the flowers were never defeated, they continued to evolve until they became just like the Black Flower, and through the use of magic were eventually brought to the world of NieR. Alternatively, perhaps the creator of the Black Flower used the data of the prisoner's world as the basis for the design of the Black Flower, just like how the female admin used the data in order to create her viruses. The original Drakengard contains many references to the Bible, particularly to the Apocalypse of John from the Book of Revelation. In Revelation chapter 12, a vision is shown of a giant woman standing on the moon, wearing a crown of stars. The woman is about to give birth and is attacked by Satan, who appears in the form of a red dragon. The identity of the woman of the Apocalypse is never stated, but she is often taken to be a representation of the Virgin Mary. This story of a giant pregnant woman and a red dragon has clear inspiration on the final battle of the game. And if we look at the Mother Angel as the game's twisted take on the idea of the Virgin Mary, the presence of the angel infants also makes sense. The infants seem to be based on putti, winged infants which are depicted in biblical art, and very often depicted alongside Mary. The words Holy Mother are also used in the Japanese script for the game, once by Verdelé when he wonders who Mana is screaming for during her boss fight, and once as the chapter title when Ariosh is devoured. While the name Queen Beast is only used in the English localization, this too is perhaps intended to allude to Mary, as the Queen Mother and the Queen of Heaven are 2 of her titles. Now taking a look at F66X, we can see that just like the Mother Angel, she shares a number of connections to Mary. During the start of chapter 7 and 8 of Reincarnation, we are shown the full names of the specific prisoner clones who we play as during the main story. These full names were confirmed in one of the last official reincarnation live streams to contain references to Revelation chapter 12, specifically to verses 2 and 8. F66X is also depicted on the unlockable anecdote titled Empress. These anecdotes are named after the tarot, and the Empress tarot card is typically illustrated with the woman of the apocalypse from Revelation. Operation Black Lily may be another connection, as lilies are associated with Mary, and like the putti, are often depicted alongside her in art. More references can be found in the hidden stories. F66X Hidden Story 5 is titled Idol of the Holy Mother, and the clones who fused with the flowers as part of a cult ritual pray to a picture of the original female scientist in a church, calling her mother. In the event story Garden of Paradise, the clones journey to find a place rumored to be safe from the flowers. Upon arriving at the shelter, a voice announces that only 2 people can enter. 063Y realizes that his wife must be pregnant and takes his own life so she can enter. It is possible that she wasn't really pregnant and that it was another behavior test from the officers who managed the prisoners, as the 063Y Frozen Heart story reveals that the clones are infertile. However, if she is somehow pregnant despite this, that would make her pregnancy a miraculous conception. The memoir set named A Chance for Conflict possibly takes place in the world of the prisoners during the original flower outbreak, and mentions something called the Mahut Society. In Jewish Kabbalah, Mahut is the lowest sphirot in the Tree of Life, representing the physical world, God's kingdom on earth. Mahut is associated with the feminine aspect of the divine, the Shekhinah, also known as the Queen of Heaven. As to how an F66X clone could become the Mother Angel, we see that the black flower infecting Zero eventually transforms her into a similar creature. The clones the female scientist created contain flower DNA within them, and with the cultists taking it a step further by fusing into flowers capable of speech, it's not hard to imagine that further mutations in the clones could result in something like the transformation which Zero undergoes. If the Mother Angel is indeed F66X, her fate could not be crueler. A woman who wanted nothing more than to be with her husband and to see her child again, transformed into a puppet surrounded by grotesque mockeries of her dearest wish.